The debate over the greatest of all time just got a lot more personal. For years, we've witnessed the frosty dynamic between Michael Jordan and LeBron James unfold through quiet digs and sidelong glances. But now, the underlying truth is emerging, shedding light on why not only MJ, but almost every legendary player, from Magic Johnson to Scottie Pippen, seems to have an issue with King James. It's not just Michael Jordan who's likely irritated by him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was probably annoyed. Magic Johnson too. And it's not limited to retired legends. Current players take issue with his tendency to assemble super teams and then complain about the lack of support. Fans bristle when he appears above reproach, and even members of the media often find themselves on his bad side when they dare question him. From the decision fiasco to the dunk tape controversy and his most recent fiery feud, LeBron's confidence, or ego, continues to create rifts everywhere he goes. The real question is, does he genuinely care about it, or does he embrace the role of the villain? Let's clarify something right off the bat. LeBron James is, without a doubt, among the top basketball players to ever grace the game. The numbers speak for themselves. The championships prove it. His incredible career longevity, second to none. But here's the catch. LeBron isn't satisfied with simply earning a spot in the greatest of all time debate. He aims to settle it once and for all by crowning himself the unrivaled king. Here's how he put it. I was over the moon. The initial wave of emotion hit when everyone noticed me in tears. That moment encapsulated everything. 52 years of sports history tied to Cleveland. After those tears dried, I thought to myself, that accomplishment right there cemented you as the greatest player of all time. However, it's statements like that which tend to irritate icons like Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's not a question of them overlooking LeBron's extraordinary skills. It's the self-bestowed title that seems to rub them the wrong way. But now, you might be curious. How did Michael Jordan react when he first heard LeBron declare himself the greatest of all time? Get ready for something truly extraordinary. It's on another level. That moment right there cemented you as the absolute best to ever play the game. Everyone was saying, yep, what you witnessed was nothing short of iconic. That expression, that laughter, that slight shake of the head. MJ managed to convey more without saying a word than LeBron ever could with countless interviews. It's no surprise that everything Jordan did in the reaction video turned into a meme or a GIF. And now, here's what Vincent Goodwill had to share about it. It revolves around seeking validation. LeBron once said that in 2016, after coming back from a 3-1 deficit to win the NBA championship, that was the moment he felt he became the greatest of all time. You can bet that probably doesn't just bother Michael Jordan. It irritates him. This likely irritated Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It likely didn't sit well with Magic Johnson either. Unsurprisingly, LeBron declaring himself the GOAT sparked reactions from NBA players and analysts. Take Danny Ainge, for example. The former Boston Celtics general manager shared his thoughts during a radio interview. He said, his career isn't finished yet. I just wonder, why is he saying that? I have no idea. Maybe he thinks it helps him market himself. Maybe he's taking a page out of Trump's playbook to push his brand. I'm not sure. While Scottie Pippen has had his differences with Michael Jordan in the past, even he didn't shy away from critiquing LeBron for his controversial remark. Pippen took issue with LeBron's choice of words, saying, my problem with LeBron is this. If people are already calling you the greatest, or if they believe Michael Jordan is the greatest, why do you need to say it yourself? Just when it seemed like the GOAT discussion had peaked, Pippen delivered a bombshell that shifted the narrative completely. He made a comment that revealed something significant about Jordan's character. According to Pippen, Michael Jordan has never once called himself the greatest player in the history of the game. Why is that? Because he's always shown respect to those who came before him. But for LeBron to declare it outright, Pippen felt diminishes his standing. And now, let's hear directly from the man himself, the six-time NBA champion and iconic Finals MVP. When Michael Jordan was squarely asked if he considered himself the greatest of all time, his response was nothing short of legendary. No chest-pounding or self-proclaimed titles here. Just that signature humility from MJ, casually deflecting any personal accolades. I don't want it in a way, he explained, because I feel it's disrespectful to Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, and the legends who came before me, people I never even had the opportunity to compete against. With so many proclaiming me as the greatest, how can I truly measure myself against players I never faced? As this debate continued to escalate, Jalen Rose, a former NBA star turned sharp-witted analyst, delivered arguably one of the most level-headed perspectives on the matter. Dissecting the GOAT discussion with incredible detail, Rose emphasized crucial differences in eras, playing styles, and unique career paths, illustrating why this wasn't just a simple case of comparing championships to statistics. Rose then made a comment that felt particularly relevant, shedding light on the frustrations NBA legends and experts had with LeBron. LeBron officially surpassed Larry Bird and cracked the top 5 when he claimed his only championship in Cleveland, his final ring so far. But for me, he's still got a clear gap to close to overtake Michael Jordan, Bill Russell with his unmatched 11 titles in 13 seasons, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And as much as I admire LeBron, my heart still won't put him ahead of Magic just yet. That said, no one can deny what LeBron has achieved. 4 NBA championships across 3 separate teams, for MVP awards, the all-time scoring crown, and the distinction of being the first player to hit 40,000 points. His accolades speak for themselves. Yet, to fully understand why the criticism started and why it persisted, you need to look deeper. Back when he first declared himself the greatest of all time, LeBron James had only claimed a single championship title. Just one. Meanwhile, icons like Michael Jordan with 6 rings, Kobe Bryant with 5, and Magic Johnson with 5 had already solidified their legacies and built dynasties. So, when LeBron boldly named himself the GOAT before truly proving it, it came across not just as confidence, but as a lack of respect for the legends who paved the way. Some might argue that true greatness isn't only about numbers and stats. It's about the timing and manner in which you assert it. Many of LeBron's critics have an issue with him adopting the title King James. Here's the thing. He gave himself that moniker back in high school, long before he ever stepped onto an NBA court. Most other NBA greats earned their nicknames from passionate fans or the media after showcasing their dominance on the hardwood. Michael Jordan didn't dub himself Air Jordan. Nike did, only after he began to dominate the league. In contrast, LeBron crowned himself king before achieving anything significant. That's one of the reasons some, particularly older players, still look skeptically at the nickname. Sure, he eventually rose to become one of basketball's all-time greats, but giving himself that royal title as a teenager? It's a move that still rubs some people the wrong way, even to this day. If there was ever any question about Michael Jordan's feelings toward LeBron James, LeBron addressed them head-on during his appearance on the Pat McAfee Show. On the one hand, LeBron expressed immense admiration for MJ, describing him as a source of inspiration and the ultimate benchmark in basketball. However, he also alluded to an icy truth. Everyone knows, even without meeting him, that Jordan is one of the fiercest competitors in the history of sports. Until the day I retire, with him no longer having to see me sprinting up and down the court in a number 23 jersey and hearing my name constantly linked to his, he wants nothing to do with me, LeBron hinted. While he stopped short of suggesting any outright hostility between them, it became abundantly clear that Jordan has made no effort to foster a friendship with LeBron. At one point, LeBron candidly remarked that his mission has always been to chase after a ghost, the one who played in Chicago. This confession underscores LeBron's unwavering determination to eclipse Jordan's legacy. Yet the stark reality remains. Winning 6 championships, as Jordan did, is only part of the equation. The bigger hurdle lies in surpassing MJ's phenomenal influence and cultural relevance, an achievement that seems unattainable, no matter how remarkable LeBron's career becomes. Even if LeBron manages to claim 2 more titles to match Jordan's 6 before retiring, reaching the same level of iconic status as MJ appears out of reach. Jordan's rise to global fame was a product of impeccable timing. He became the face of basketball worldwide, just as the NBA was reaching new levels of international recognition throughout the 1990s. Conversely, LeBron James has faced significant criticism over the course of his career. In fact, he is often regarded as the most disliked player in the league. Even as LeBron ascended to superstardom, he encountered backlash, largely because of his habit of declaring himself the greatest before many felt he had earned the right to that title. While his skills were undoubtedly exceptional, his penchant for self-promotion rubbed many players the wrong way. Consider, for instance, Carlos Boozer's remark, "We already have better players at his position on our team, man." LeBron's actions over the years have made him one of the NBA's most divisive personalities, and nothing highlights this more than his infamous Chosen One tattoo, which remains a point of contention. In case you're unfamiliar with the history, back in 2002, Sports Illustrated featured a 17-year-old LeBron James on their cover with a bold statement, "The Chosen One." While the media frenzy surrounding him was already intense, what truly stirred up controversy was LeBron's decision to tattoo Chosen One prominently across his upper back shortly thereafter. To many, this move was seen as the ultimate sign of him buying into the hype far too soon. Rather than staying modest and letting his performance on the court speak for itself, he seemed to be proclaiming himself as basketball's savior. Jump ahead to 2021, and LeBron James had officially earned the title of the most disliked NBA player in America, according to data from a Twitter heat map. His polarizing reputation reached new extremes in 2022 when a widely known online betting platform analyzed a month's worth of negative tweets about the league's top players. The findings, though startling, were not unexpected. LeBron topped the charts with over 100,000 hate-filled tweets aimed at him, more than doubling the total of his closest rival. Kevin Durant was a distant second with around 35,000 negative mentions, while James Harden and Kyrie Irving followed further down the rankings. But it might surprise you to learn that the origins of LeBron's divisive image go back much earlier than the controversies of his later career. Back in 2008, when 23-year-old LeBron James was still in pursuit of his first championship, it was clear that tensions with fellow players were already brewing. After the Washington Wizards defeated LeBron's Cavaliers in a regular season matchup, guard Deshaun Stevenson didn't mince words, declaring, "He's overrated, and you can quote me on that." Yet, it was one specific event that solidified LeBron's reputation as a divisive figure in the league, branding him as unfaithful in the eyes of numerous fans. The question everyone's dying to know, LeBron, what's your decision? In response, he said, this fall, man, this is really tough, but this fall I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat. That moment, broadcast live in 2010 on ESPN's The Decision, drew an audience of 13 million viewers. However, it wasn't just a team switch. It became the defining point where LeBron lost countless supporters for good. Picture this: a hometown star raised just outside Cleveland, the man everyone believed would deliver a championship to his state, stuns the world during a live television event by announcing he's heading to Miami. Not through a straightforward press release, but through an elaborate one-hour broadcast that concludes with the now infamous line, "I'm taking my talents to South Beach." The reaction was explosive. Cleveland fans felt deeply betrayed. They took to the streets, setting his jerseys on fire. The Cavaliers' owner fired off a scorching letter, branding the move a cowardly act of disloyalty. Even casual viewers criticized the spectacle, claiming it made him seem larger than the game itself, especially since he hadn't yet won a title. After the decision, Forbes ranked him among the most disliked athletes globally. Then, to top it all off, the celebratory event in Miami only inflamed tensions further. LeBron, Wade, and Bosh hosted an extravagant event where LeBron famously joked about securing more than just one championship. Not two, not three titles. But it was clear the aim of the three kings joining forces in Miami was to win multiple championships. Plural, not one, but many. LeBron, can you share more on that? Not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven. To many, this came off as overly confident. Three elite players uniting and celebrating as though they'd already achieved greatness before even stepping on the court together. Even Michael Jordan weighed in, expressing that he'd have never considered teaming up with his competitors in such a way. When questioned about forming a super team, Jordan responded, "Looking back, there's no chance I'd have ever called up Larry Bird or Magic Johnson to say, 'Hey, let's join forces and play for the same team.'" To Jordan, it seemed like teaming up with others to form a super team was taking the easy road. The irony is that the Miami decision paid off. They secured 2 championships, but that televised announcement altered LeBron's public image forever. He shifted from being the beloved rising star of basketball to someone fans love to criticize. Even after redeeming himself by winning titles in Cleveland and later with the Lakers, that pivotal moment in 2010 continues to linger in the minds of many. In sports, the way achievements are pursued matters just as much as the achievements themselves. For a significant portion of fans, that TV special symbolized LeBron prioritizing himself over the essence of the game. Now, I'm not done breaking down the factors and moments that turned LeBron into one of the league's most polarizing figures. There's one particular example that critics often point to. Any idea what it might be? Back in 2009, there was the infamous Jordan Crawford dunk incident. Crawford, at the time an obscure college athlete playing for Xavier, stunned everyone when he delivered a thunderous dunk over LeBron James during a casual game at the LeBron James Skills Academy. The audience went wild, but shortly afterward, Nike allegedly stepped in to seize all recordings of the play, prompting speculation that they sought to protect LeBron from looking weak. A Nike representative, overseeing the camp held at the University of Akron in LeBron's hometown, didn't address the dunk specifically. Instead, they explained that filming after-hours pickup games at the camp violated policy. However, freelance videographer Ryan Miller, who had been recording throughout the day, revealed his tapes were only confiscated post-dunk. Miller claimed LeBron signaled to a man named Len, spoke briefly with him, and within minutes, someone approached Miller demanding his footage. The public response was swift and critical, with many accusing LeBron of being overly sensitive. An effort to tightly manage LeBron's image at all costs. Although Nike eventually handed back the footage, which later found its way online anyway, the damage was already done. For critics, this became the prime example of LeBron's camp being overly preoccupied with protecting his image, ready to erase anything that clashed with his untouchable king reputation. Truthfully, had LeBron joked about it or openly praised Crawford, the incident would have faded away. But the notion of him trying to cover it up lingered. Even now, critics point to it as evidence that LeBron struggles with appearing vulnerable, even during an inconsequential summer game. Now, shifting focus to one of LeBron's most vocal detractors, Charles Barkley. In the summer of 2018, LeBron faced a pivotal moment with Cleveland. After another finals defeat, he publicly called out the Cavaliers' management, demanding a roster overhaul and citing a lack of balance on the team, as well as the need for defensive improvements. Enter Charles Barkley, never one to soften his remarks, who responded with an unfiltered and scathing take. The Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron, have spared no effort in meeting his demands. They've assembled the highest payroll in NBA history to accommodate his wishes. Last summer, when he wanted J.R. Smith, they handed him a deal. When he requested Shumpert, they brought him back. They even added Kyle Carter to the roster. Considered the best player in the world, he continues to push for top-tier talent around him, seemingly unwilling to face competition without them. Barkley reinforced his perspective by stating, "LeBron is a phenomenal athlete and an outstanding individual. But this idea that he must surround himself with all the elite players on his team, that's the issue. He's got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love on his team. He doesn't want to face competition. He constantly wants to be the frontrunner. It frustrates me that someone so talented avoids competing." In response, LeBron labeled Charles Barkley a hater, stating, "I won't let him talk down on my legacy like that." He continued, "I'm not the guy who threw someone through a window. I've never spat at a child. I don't have unpaid debts in Las Vegas. I never claimed I wasn't a role model." LeBron also remarked, "I never skipped All-Star Weekend until Sunday because I've been partying in Vegas the whole time. Throughout my entire career, I made it a priority to represent the NBA in the best way possible. 14 years without any incidents, always showing respect for the game. Make sure to note that. Now, let's dive into the feud between LeBron James and Paul Pierce, which reportedly began over accusations of LeBron showing a lack of regard for veteran players. In one intense preseason clash between the Cavaliers and Pierce's team, tensions boiled over when Pierce allegedly spat in the direction of Cleveland's bench, possibly aiming at LeBron. Years later, Kendra Perkins, a former teammate of Pierce, revealed that this wasn't an isolated case of trash talk, but rather a result of an ongoing personal rivalry between the two basketball stars. When asked about the incident, Pierce didn't exactly deny it, providing this candid account of events. You know what's wild? It was just a preseason game, completely meaningless. I don't know, me and LeBron were exchanging words, and their bench was shouting something. I looked over and said something like, "That's why you're all stuck on the bench," and then I spit toward them. But that wasn't the end of it. Pierce further added, "I honestly don't even know if it hit anyone or not, but yeah, I spat in that direction." Things quickly escalated, and before we knew it, we were in the hallway, ready for a heated showdown. That's pretty much how it all kicked off. It's no surprise, then, that Paul Pierce had something to say about LeBron. Truth be told, there's no shortage of reasons why LeBron James stands as one of the NBA's most divisive figures. But now, he's caught in the middle of a new controversy, one that has nothing to do with his performance on the court or his storied career. This time, he's facing criticism for igniting a public clash with someone who dared to speak out about his son. If you ask me, this latest drama is spiraling into chaos, becoming more unpredictable by the minute. Tensions between LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith. LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith have never exactly been friendly, and their frosty dynamic has always been apparent. What used to be low-key friction has now exploded into a full-on feud, with the latest developments turning even messier than anyone could have anticipated. These two influential figures have gone from exchanging subtle digs to engaging in a no-holds-barred confrontation, and the basketball world can't tear itself away. The tension reached its peak after the Lakers vs. Knicks game on March 6th, when a viral video caught LeBron verbally tearing into Smith right there at courtside. The video went viral almost instantly, creating an atmosphere so tense it seemed to leap off the screen. What could have pushed LeBron to lose his cool like that? What hidden feud had finally surfaced for the world to see? The internet clamored for an explanation until Stephen A. decided to address the situation on his show, shedding light on the events that sparked the dramatic outburst. According to him, that moment was when LeBron James approached him, unexpectedly, no less, to confront him and demand he watch his words when discussing LeBron's son. When pressed for details on what LeBron actually said, Stephen A. seemed eager to spill but held back, admitting he couldn't share the exact language since it wasn't fit for broadcast. That's what went down. Viewers of the video had no trouble grasping the message LeBron was putting across. Leave my son out of this mess. Smith's frustration with the entire situation was evident, and he didn't hesitate to voice his disappointment. Just to clarify, his friend and agent, Rich Paul, has my contact information. Maverick Carter, who works under Paul, also has it. LeBron James himself is fully aware of how to reach me if he wanted to, but he didn't. If LeBron had taken the time to call me and discuss the matter, I absolutely would have answered. As speculation online grew about what exactly LeBron said to Smith, he felt the need to address the encounter on his platform. He approached me during the game and told me directly, "Stop messing with my son. That's my son. Don't mess with him. Stop messing with my son." For those who are unaware, LeBron's frustration with Smith stemmed from remarks he made about Bronny James' role and performance on the team. Bronny, LeBron's oldest child and a rookie for the Los Angeles Lakers, have been the focus of Smith's critiques for some time, something LeBron didn't appreciate. To provide some background, here's what Smith had to say about Bronny. "I'm asking LeBron James, as a father, to put an end to this. Everyone knows Bronny is in the NBA because of his dad." Smith later attempted to soften his stance by offering additional context. On opening night, during the season's first game, the Griffies were in attendance, marking a historic moment as a father-son pair played in the NBA together for the first time, the storybook scenario. But soon after, reality kicked in. Smith made a pointed remark, saying, "We're really encouraged by what he's showing in the G League because that's exactly where he needs to be, working on his game, improving, and genuinely earning a role in the Lakers lineup." The context here is Bronny James' stint at USC, which failed to showcase a skill level typically associated with a future NBA player. During his solitary college season, Bronny appeared in 25 games and posted unimpressive averages of 4.8 points and 2.8 rebounds, starting in just 6 of them. With only 19 minutes of play per game and unremarkable on-court impact, these stats reflected a player who fell short of the standards required to excel professionally. Although his iconic surname drew considerable attention, his collegiate performance lacked the standout traits typically seen in those deemed NBA-ready, sparking legitimate debate about whether his rise was truly based on merit. This line of criticism hit a nerve with LeBron, as the claims not only scrutinized Bronny's abilities, but also alleged his place in the NBA hinged solely on his father's status. As a fiercely protective parent who has consistently emphasized that Bronny's achievements stem from dedication and effort, LeBron viewed Smith's remarks as crossing the line from fair critique to personal attack. When asked about the uproar, LeBron offered an intriguing perspective during his appearance on the Pat McAfee show. He began by attempting to clarify what he felt was a misunderstanding, asserting that Smith had completely missed the broader context. The main idea here: I'd never stop anyone from discussing the game or critiquing how players perform on the court. That's your role, to analyze and critique. After that, LeBron shared the reason behind his sudden outburst. He explained that when the criticism crosses the line and becomes personal, it's his responsibility to not only defend his family, but also stand up for the players. And here's what he said next. LeBron mentioned that Smith would probably be overjoyed knowing LeBron was addressing him, even suggesting he'd be grinning from ear to ear. In response to those remarks, Stephen A. Smith completely lost it, accusing LeBron of being dishonest. Smith went so far as to claim LeBron James was full of nonsense. He further emphasized that his critiques were strictly professional while accusing LeBron of engaging in some questionable behavior. "My problem is with LeBron James," he stated. "And let me be clear, LeBron James is deceitful. In this specific case regarding his son, he's being dishonest. He got on national television today and lied once more." Smith again attempted to address the misunderstanding. "He keeps misleading the public about what I said and who I was actually referring to," he explained. To revisit what Navias mentioned, Smith discussed his earlier comments about Bronny James at the start of the season, explaining that at that point in time, Bronny simply wasn't prepared. "My remarks were meant for LeBron James," he clarified. Later, Stephen A. Smith made a remark that has since turned into a bit of a joke, though his perspective becomes clearer in context. "The cameras were rolling, and what exactly was I supposed to do in that moment? Were you hoping I'd put on a performance? Turn it into another version of Chris Rock and Will Smith? Let me be clear on this point. If we're going there, let me assure you it wouldn't have played out the same way. I would have ended up on the losing side because if that man had dared to lay a hand on me, you can bet I would have instantly retaliated." Those were some bold statements coming from the 57-year-old Smith, who, for context, is 1.85 meters tall, while LeBron James towers at 2.06 meters. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to click one of the cards on your screen to check out more suggested content.